Hi, this is Accordion Cafe. This is part 2 of our problem with this Samsung front loading washing machine. The last time we looked at it, it was emptying, but intermittently, very slowly. We suspected a pump fault, and we found a 50p in the sump hose, but also it's still not emptying properly. And we looked at the motor, the pump motor and the impeller, and I suspected the impeller was broken off the shaft. So we're going to replace the old pump. We've got the new one come down now. So here's the new pump come down, and it's got a new O-ring gasket on there, which is good. And there's the impeller, which is much more, that's much stronger. That is, the old one was very weak. You can actually feel those magnetic fields pulling it back. That's how it should be, good and strong like that. Right, so we'll fit this new pump now. So the first thing we're going to do is switch off, isolate the machine, always. Tools we're going to need to do this job is these mole grips. You can use alternative tools for this. This is just in case the inlet water pipe is a little bit stiff to get off. It's only supposed to be just over hand tight, but sometimes they do stick up. Pliers to help us get the clips off the pump pipes. You can get special pliers to do it, but mine went missing. That's what happens when you let them see your kids. And a Phillips screwdriver, and probably not a flat blade, but anyway. So now we'll get this machine out now, so we can get the inlet pipe at the back. And we're just going to switch that off down here. And all you do to switch these off, it is only a cold fill machine, just the one pipe. The blue one is the cold fill. You just turn that down so it's vertical, and that switches the pipe, the water supply on. So now we're going to pull the machine further out. We turned our water supply off, so now we'll just give that hand grip a little tweak with the pliers to open it up. As I say, they should only be pinched up tight anyway. And we'll take that off there. That's the water supply out. And now the drain pipe, which is already off because we were having to lie the machine down, lie the pipe down to empty it. Now the next thing we want now is a pillow or a cushion. So here's our pillow. And what this is for is so I can have a kip. It isn't really. What you do is you put that on the floor. So when you lie the machine over, I'm going to lie this over to the right hand side, the machine can lie on it without scratching it. We're going to be lying this down with the drum towards the interlock, so we need to be careful how we lie it down. We don't want to do any damage to any of the printed circuit boards. We're not sure what side they are at the moment, but we'll find out. The last thing to do before we lie it down now is to empty the water pump, and that's done at the front of the machine, where you take off the little round cover down the bottom at the front to empty the pump and sometimes clean out your filter, which you should be doing regularly anyway. And this is the little plug at the front of the machine. Don't take anything out. There's some fishing line. Oh no, it's a price tag thing, look at that. Now things like this, you know, you need to clean these out because they can cause problems. That just screws into the front of the machine. So anyway, let's roll the machine down now. Right, now we can get to the pump. Now the pump is down here, and and the part we're going to replace is the motor on the back there. So all we've got to do is to remove a few little bits and pieces here. We're going to start by taking off the pipes. You can get special pliers to do this. If you're careful, you can do it with ordinary pliers, but you have to watch they don't keep slipping, because you can catch your fingers in the pliers and that tends to hurt a bit. I have got those special pliers to do this, but when you lend tools out, you very often don't get them back. That's that one out of the way. That's the one from the sump on the tub. And now, to get at the others, we're going to take out the screws in the front of the pump, which are on the outside of the case. There are two screws. So there's two Phillips screwdrivers at the two Phillips screws at the front, and just remove them. And there's one. The other one I took out earlier. I must have done because it's not there. Right, now take the pump from here, and then we just bring him out here a bit so we can see what we're doing here. Now the next thing I'm going to do now is to remove the electrical connection. Now this will release the protective cover from on top of the machine. Just one screw there. This is just to protect the pump against leaks and stuff. And this will be just one screw that comes off, as you see there. And now we can get the wire. So in that position there, which is the position it fits back into the machine, the first wires here are the blue and white. Just pull off, and underneath that is a single red wire, which we pull off there. Now there are two more hoses to detach. We've got this little sediment drain. That's the pipe that's this little one here, which goes along and comes to the front, and a little cap. That just collects sediment, and if you squeeze those two together, just finger pressure undoes on that there. You can then pull that off. Look at this, there's a load of sediment in there already. Ooh, yucky. Right. Now, pardon me. The next hose is the actual drain hose, which is around here. That's the grey one that goes out to the water drain. Once again, we'll just pinch this off here, which we won't be able to do finger. Yeah, that's just a finger tight one. Squeeze it tight, bring it back, and you can get the hose off. These are sometimes glued on. Right, so now there we have the pump, and now we're going to replace this part here. So we're going to replace the motor part of the pump. The pump bodies are good, that's okay. It's a bit mucky, a bit of sediment in there. Just get that out. So that's our pump to go in. So what we'll do is we just have a look at this first, make sure we've got the right part. So there's our old part there. This is the new part. Well, we can see the connections are the same. The pump, motor looks exactly the same. All the screw holes are all in the right position. Side on. Same. It's all the same. Okay, so now we'll take off the pump body and we'll simply just put it on the new motor. Holding the pump body on are just two screws there. because we've taken the third screw out. I think we took the third screw out, which was holding the cover on, which was protecting the electrical connections against drips, etc. But let's have a look at that and make sure. Now here it is, and this was the cover which was on here like that. So yes, it was in fact that screw hole just there. That slides onto there like that, and the third screw goes into that hole there. So there we are. But we'll put that cover on after we've put the new pump in the machine. There's the screw that holds the cover on. Well, we've undone these two already here, so now we can take this off, remembering the position it goes in when it goes on. So line those two up. Okay. Okay, there we are. So that's the old motor there. We've got the new one here. Now I'm just going to clean around this facing here to make sure it's all nice. Already a new seal, a new O-ring on there. So now we put that straight into position on there. There we are. Now we can put our screws in. So all we're going to do now is do all these screws on here. There's a bit of shit in there. Get that out. Right, there we are. Right, so we've done our two screws up there. The third one goes in with the shield and all the rest of it. So now we can put our pipes back on. We'll start off with that's the position it goes in like that. Now first the actual drain pipe goes on, get it right way round. What goes on there? That's a sump hose on. That's better. Right, so now we've put the pump back in. That's the position it goes in like that. Our drain hose goes on that side, and you have to pinch that, back it up. We won't tighten that on until we've got this in the right position like that, so the hose is not under stress. That one goes onto there. That's our like sediment runoff, if you like. That's quite that's an easy clip to hold on to, that is. We'll push that right on there, making sure it's fully on. That's it. And we can put our other clip across like that. Now suppose we will have to use the special tools to pinch that together because it's very strong on those. And these are just what I'll use on here. Make sure that hose is fully on. Give that a squeeze. Mind your fingers in the jaws if you haven't got the right tools, because it can snap onto your fingers. Making sure it's got the hose all the way around and it's fully over the pipework extrusion, so that's on properly. Now the wiring you'll put in sort of the top of the moulding on that. There's a lid on the top of it, and we put that through there. Then we've got two screws going in the front. I won't bore you with watching while I'm screwing them up. So we tighten the screws up in the front here. As I say, there's 2 screws. I've lost the other one, so just for now. See that? It's very important, that 3rd screw, because that actually flips out even though there's 2 screws still in it. And now we put our wiring back on, which is the red onto the lower connection there. I could do this better if I had my glasses on. And the white and blue. Onto there. And of course we now pin that down like that. Now we can put our 3rd screw in. I always think to myself, did the wiring go in after or before? Oh, I think that's about right like that. Okay, that's all our pipes on, and now we're ready to stand it up right and give it a test. Testing the machine now. You can see all this water on the floor here. Well, that's what happens when you forget to put the pump cover on. Stupid me, so we all make mistakes, but lucky enough we're not in a 1st floor flat, we're in the garage, and so you can hear the water coming in. And what we're looking for next is to see that the pump works alright. It's on a rinse cycle at the moment, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to just advance it onto the spin, because I wanted to get some water in there. So there's plenty of water in there now, as you can see. So now we're going to just pause it and change the program to a spin, start it again, and it should start pumping out happily. And there we are, that's a good flow. Back in there. Actually, that is a bit too high, that is. We've got water all over the place now. That's fine. And there we are. That's draining out well. Yeah, you can. That's pumping well now. So that was our fault for a machine that was struck on the ES code, or was it SE? I can't remember myself now. It's either ES or SE coming up on the front here, and the pump impeller was the fault. There should be quite a strong resistance when you turn it, but there's hardly any there, and I think we'll be stripping that down to prove what we've done. It's the pump impeller is slipping around on the shaft. That's caused by dirt and sediment in the pipe, and coins and anything that gets grabbed in there. It'll break the propeller off the shaft. It may not snap it off altogether, it may just make it so the motor shaft runs okay, and it feels like there's a bit of resistance there, magnetic resistance, but it's not enough. So there we are, another job done. Cost of the pump, including postage, was 40 quid. An engineer to come out and do that probably cost you between 80 and 100 pounds. So there we are, that's all from Accordion Cafe. Hope it was some use to you. Bye bye for now.